Here are some travel tips for you if you are planning on visiting Australia. Number one, Sydney is not the capital of Australia. I thought it was coming here from the States, but make sure you know a little bit of geography because this is not the capital of the country. Number two, Sydney Harbour is very accessible for us as tourists. This place is pretty much incredible. You have the opportunity of visiting here very simply and accessing this with water taxis, boats, yachts. You can rent a boat or a yacht very simply, very effectively, and if you're getting from point A to point B via water taxi, that is also very easy to do. All right, here's something for your third tip. Sydney, Brisbane, and Melbourne are very far apart. I know that might sound comical for some, but again, coming from the States, I just did not have the geographical perspective in articulately accurate, precise locations. I arrived in Brisbane. You can actually arrive in Australia, either Brisbane or Sydney. Both are very accessible airports, but you must know that the beautiful city of Sydney is very far from just about any other major city. If you fly into Sydney and you plan on going anywhere else in the country, especially Brisbane or Perth or Melbourne, you will need to buy an additional plane ticket. This country is massive, and it took me about an hour and a half to get from Brisbane to Sydney. Your next tip, this city is extremely walkable. If you are planning on coming here and doing some sightseeing, beautiful. I've never felt safer than in any city here in Sydney, Australia. Gorgeous people, gorgeous walkways. You got some reminders right here letting us know, for us Americans and people in the other parts of the world, the traffic moves a little bit differently. Fantastic spot to walk around and see some sights. Two more facts about the city of Sydney, Australia. Fact number one, another tip. This is actually where the scene in the movie The Matrix was filmed, where the lady in the red dress was walking by. It was that fountain right there. Number two, Bonkers Comedy Club does not exist. If you're coming to Sydney and you're looking for a comedy show, if you type in comedy show, Bonkers is going to be one of the very first ones that pop up. I don't know how, but it does not exist. We looked, we were there, we really carved out time to find this comedy club, and it did not exist. If you're looking for laughs here in Sydney, Australia, there's a place called Happy Endings Comedy Club. Sounds a little bit sketchy, so I want to let you know that it's legit. You start at the top, have some drinks, and then work your way down to the basement of the comedy club. We're here at one of the most recognizable buildings and landmarks in the entire world, the Sydney Opera House, constructed with approximately 3 million individual tiles. One thing that I wanted to mention is Sydney is also a very popular destination for cruises. So if you are coming here from the States, it's something to consider, hopping on a cruise in Sydney, cruising out and coming back in, or vice versa. One other thing that a lot of people are afraid about visiting Sydney is specifically the time difference. Now, the time difference is a challenge, so my biggest suggestion and tip is when you are flying from the States to Australia, do not sleep when you're getting here. Leave early in the morning and come to Australia. You will arrive late at night. Approximately it is 8 p.m. on Sunday in the States right now, in Nashville at least. It's 9 p.m. almost in New York City. Right now in Sydney, it is 11:45 a.m. on Monday. So you have Sunday night and you have Monday morning here. The Australian markets are already open. So just something to keep in mind. Fly in the morning, arrive here late at night, do not sleep. It's about a 15-hour flight approximately from LA to Sydney. So download a bunch of movies, crush some shows on Netflix, read some books, and let's continue enriching lives together. All right, friends, I'm back with just a few more travel tips when visiting Australia. This is Moreton Island, which is off of the coast of Brisbane, Australia. Arguably the best beach I've ever been to in my life. The sand is perfect, the sun is amazing, the water is clear and beautiful, the people are nice. It's about an hour and a half ferry ride from Brisbane to Moreton Island. Anyway, absolutely sensational location, incredible spot, and just delectable scenery. Make sure to put this spot on your list when visiting Australia. All right, friends, we're here with one last travel tip in this particular video for you visiting Australia. I'm here in Brisbane City, downtown Brisbane, Australia. And how can I describe this place? One word, stupendous. It's amazing. There's a man-made beach behind me. There's a river, there's shops. This place is incredible. They're building, they're growing, phenomenal for investors, both real estate, residential, and commercial. Love Brisbane. It's a must-see on your tour of Australia and has direct flights to LA and London. Make sure to check this out. Take one of the riverboat ferries, take one of the walks around the beautiful, gorgeous scenery, and enjoy this phenomenal city while you're here in one of the greatest countries in the world. That's right, Australia. Thanks so much for watching. You guys are amazing. Bye.